What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, saints and inks, and welcome to Lactic Acid. I am your host, Dominique Smith. This episode is a part of our Global Running Day series, so please be sure to check that out. But today, I have a certified baller, shot caller. She had that Florida speed here in the Central Florida area, whooping everybody. Took her talents up to Laramie, where she did the same thing, literally rewrote the record book, so it should be called the Page House of Records based on the performances that she gave. Now she is out of track, but still balling out. Gonna win Boston soon. I'm just putting it out there. Slinging shoes, making a difference 1 foot at a time. She is none other than the legend that is Miss Holly Page. Holly, appreciate you coming on the show, fam. How you doing?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing well.
Awesome. Holly is like the coolest person ever. You're gonna hear about that pretty soon. And I just have to say before I forget, if your feet hurt and it listen, I know some people were listening and you have bad feet, go ahead and make your way to the nearest Fleet Feet. Let us hook you up. We got you. And without further ado, I have to ask you this question because I've been asking this to everybody.
Sure.
So let's just say a bunch of awesome people walked into Fleet Feet one day and it was busy Sunday. It was in Maitland, no breaks. And they got a chance to get fit by you. You put them in Bondies, you put them in an 880, you even put them in a Cloud Surfer, which is the best shoe out there. And so those three people happen to be Ben and Jerry, as well as the executive president or the president of Food Network. And so they were like, yo, you got fit by Holly. She's awesome. We need to promote her awesomeness. So they're going to make a custom promotion centered around the great work that you've done. So they're going to do three things for you. Food Network said that they are going to create a gourmet meal, whatever you want. They're going to send out their best chef. I don't know who it is, but whoever's on TV, they're going to send out. And they're going to make you your own gourmet meal that you want. No exceptions to the rule. It could be anything. Ben and Jerry, since you fit both of them, they said, cool, here's what we're going to do. We want her to pick 2 flavors of ice cream. We're going to combine it in one, and we're going to put it in every store in this great land of ours that we're affiliated with. And then the last thing that's going to be done for you. So there was a show back in the day called The Wild Thornberrys, and Eliza had the ability to talk to animals. So that power is going to be bestowed upon you. You get to pick any animal that you would want to talk to. So gourmet meal, ice cream, animal you want to talk with.
Okay. This is like a little hobo, but gourmet meal, avocado toast, 100%. I just had it for lunch. Obsessed with avocado toast. Very basic, but that's would be mine. I love to be wowed by avocado toast.
Avocado toast. Okay.
What was the second one? I know the animal.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. Okay. Oh gosh, I'm like chocolate all the way. I think it would be like a mashup of like a coffee flavor. Like you know those like coffee ice creams that have like a little bit of coffee, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of whatever, like vanilla. Like that mashed in with chocolate. It'd be those two together. Coffee, chocolate, ice cream.
Okay.
And then animal. I am obsessed with my dog, so I would literally want to be able to talk to her, and I'd want to know exactly what she's thinking and what's going on in her head all the time because she's my little baby girl. So I'm a big dog lover. It would be my dog for sure.
Oh boy. Okay. I got to go back to this ice cream.
Okay, fair.
Because I personally hate coffee.
Oh,
I don't know how I survive. Like
I don't know how you're here.
I don't that's why I'm tired all the time. I just like made the decision that fatigue is just in part of my destiny. Because I have tried drinking coffee, but I've never had, what does a coffee flavored ice cream taste like mixed in with chocolate? I'm just curious.
Well, I've never had one mixed in with chocolate. I've had like a vanilla caramel coffee swirl thing, and it's got like all the coffee that you like. Like it's not like bitter. It's like if you were to get like an espresso beverage and it's mixed with like a caramel latte espresso beverage. And it's very smooth because it's got like a little bit of that vanilla in there. And then I just threw in chocolate because I'm such a like if it's a coffee, like I want a mocha, like I put chocolate in everything. So that's kind of the vibe I'm feeling for that. But again, it's unprecedented as far as I know. I've never had chocolate coffee ice cream.
I
So
really want to say one exists. I really believe that it exists somewhere. Not to that level of swag, but I
yeah.
think that it probably does not taste as good as you're making it. But you see, now that we're talking, when you first said it, I was like, I can't do that. But now, like, I'm kind of intrigued.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everybody that comes on here knows that I hate coffee, but like,
I see. I didn't know that about you. I don't know
yeah.
that I would have changed my answer, but at the same time, like that fair. Like if you don't like coffee, then you wouldn't like coffee chocolate ice cream. That's cool.
But here's the
Each
thing.
his own.
I hate avocado, but I love guac.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And like when I do avocado toast, like when I make it my own, like we're putting in the accoutrements. Like we're like salting it. We're like maybe add
Oh,
lime, even though it's just avocado toast, like a little bit of olive oil, everything bagel seasoning. Like it's not just like
wow.
plain avocado. So like
Oh,
understood.
so you go hard
I
like with
go
that
hard.
toast.
I do. Yeah.
Okay, well, okay, may have to change that up. Actually, no, I may have to try that because that sounds good. I had like
It's good.
someone cut it up and like, you got to try this, and I was like, what is this nonsense that I'm eating? But like when
Yeah.
you add like seasonings to it, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not really well versed in food. That's not like fried chicken, but still, like that does sound pretty good because I am looking for
Fried
something
chicken's
else for
pretty good too.
breakfast. Oh,
Yeah.
it's amazing. But avocado toast, I don't know. I think Einstein's has a avocado. I don't know if it's avocado toast or avocado bagel
That sounds good.
or whatever. But I think I saw a lady get it on. I think what is it, the everything bagel or whatever, and
Mm.
they toasted it, and
Yep.
she looked like she won the lottery just eating that.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Bagels are, yeah, they're like a second to the toast. They're all bread carbohydrates.
Listen, bread is a
100%.
necessity. I don't really listen to doctors like, oh, don't eat bread. Like, listen, I need this bread to live. I would say God didn't say he was like the, rice of life. He said the bread of life. So if he said he's bread, then I'm eating bread. That's how I look
Yeah,
at it.
you can argue with that.
No, you cannot
That's
argue.
sound logic.
Yes, that is sound logic, and that is what I'm using for my argument. But I actually like those answers. I knew somebody was going to come on here and say a dog. I was just
Oh,
curious.
was
I've
I the
heard different answers.
first?
You were the
Oh,
first,
wow.
but I don't know. Dogs do some weird things.
They do.
And so
Absolutely.
sometimes like I would love to do an in-depth dive of like what are you doing? Or
Hmm.
what is your thought process behind this?
Yeah, my
Um
dog she's a protector. She used to hunt squirrels when she was a little bit
oh,
younger and she would catch them. So like she's like a fighter. Like she's a tough one. So I would love to know. I would love to know when the wheels are turning what's going on in her head.
what kind of dog do you have?
She's like a pit mix. We did a little like
Oh,
DNA test on her, so we don't really know, but she's like they said primarily pit and she's got the pit markings. Um Aussie, Chow, and Rottweiler, I think.
oh my
So
god.
she's got some pretty
All of those
feisty
dogs in one.
yeah, she's really anxious but she's so sweet. She's a good girl.
Don't bring her to work because I think I may have
Yeah.
to retire.
It
That sounds scary to me. Do not mess with
no,
the
she's not as scary as she sounds. She's
okay.
precious.
Okay, still nobody mess with Holly because you put
I
your
got a squirrel eater at home. Yeah.
got a squirrel eater. She don't play around. She does not
Yeah.
play around.
I don't
All
mess with
right, let's dive into the action. So Holly, as I said, was a big time baller in Orlando, crushing kids' dreams when they raced her. Um, took your talent to Wyoming, where you balled out 33 minutes in a 10K. That is ridiculous. Like you ran a 10K faster than most people can do a fit in shoes where we work, which is just amazing. So that is just like a W on its own. Um, but before I even ask about your start and running, I am curious. Was the food better down here or up in Laramie?
Oh man. That's hard because like up in Wyoming, they don't have all the chains that we have, and they don't have Chick-fil-A. So that, like, to me, I'm a big Chick-fil-A girl. That was real tough. That was a really tough adjustment. But they have cute little like niche, like mom and pop restaurants up there that are really unique and fun and cool. So they had good food, but they were missing some of my like favorite necessities from home. So my answer is like yes and no. I did do a lot of like cooking on my own when I lived there because there just wasn't, it was a super small town. So there wasn't a lot of places to go out and eat. But like the sushi place there, surprisingly, 10 out of 10. Thai place, 10 out of 10. You wouldn't expect that in Wyoming, but they
Really?
had some good food. Yeah. Yep.
You know, I was like anti Chick-fil-A for a minute because I don't even know why. I think I went to like PDQ. No, because I went to PDQ.
PDQ was good too.
Um, and then they burnt my chicken. So I went back to
Mhm.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, they wouldn't do that at Chick-fil-A. They wouldn't do you like that at Chick-fil-A.
They would not, and there's nobody yet that butters that bun on the number one. So I don't know if I could like survive. And in high school, Chick-fil-A was the thing. Like,
Hmm.
listen, you know, nice track practice. Go to Chick-fil-A, get yourself a number one large, no pickles, to drink diet lemonade because we tried to stay healthy, even though the stuff in
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
was a little worse, but it doesn't matter. I'll throw a no filler. That's how we do on here. I don't know how you survive. Everybody has a Chick-fil-A. I don't know how Wyoming doesn't have a Chick-fil-A.
So there was one in Cheyenne, which is the capital, and it was like 45 minutes away. And I kid you
Mm-mm.
not, like my friends and I would drive to like go there just to get Chick-fil-A. And then we'd go to the mall because our town didn't, we only had Walmart. That was it to like shop for like clothes and stuff. So we'd make
Oh,
like a trip out of it and we'd get Chick-fil-A and we'd go to the mall. It was like big hype to get to Chick-fil-A.
that definitely makes you appreciate like everything
Yeah,
from
yeah,
like a big city. Oh
absolutely.
man, can't imagine like no chicken.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
granted,
not like fast food chicken. I mean, unless you wanted to get like McDonald's chicken McNuggets, which are just not caliber. They're not up to snuff with Chick-fil-A.
they're not real.
For sure.
I actually saw them make it, and it's like soft serve ice cream, like the strawberry ice cream. And I was like, that's what I've been eating all these years.
Yeah.
You know, let me get a
Yeah.
10 piece.
I
But
actually, my mom worked at McDonald's when she was a teenager, and she told us that when we were young. So I've never been a chicken nugget girl at McDonald's for that reason. But I didn't really get that whole like soft serve description. That was really enlightening. So
I
I'm
am
glad
so
you brought that to the
sorry.
table.
I'm so sorry to ruin the experience.
No,
Put
no,
your
no.
money, you know, somewhere else. No, Chick-fil-A's nuggets, nobody beats those. I have to say that
Sure.
those slap a little differently. But um, how did you get your start in like total domination of like the human soul when it comes to running?
Oh
Because
man.
like I said, I saw you run. The results speak for themselves, fam. You killed it. And then now you're killing it. We're gonna get to, you know, the Boston aspect in a second. But I'm curious about how you got your start, especially, you know, now that you're like on this elite level echelon of running when it comes to Florida
Sure.
and obviously Wyoming.
Yeah, so I feel like I was really successful primarily just because I really loved it. Like running was something that I started to do on my own. I actually like through middle school and like when I was in upper elementary school, I played basketball and that was kind
Okay.
of my thing. And I remember I was doing like I played the position that was right under the basket and I had to run across like the whole court for every play and I was like so winded and I remember just being like this running thing, like this is so hard for me. So when I was like, I think 12 years old, I was like, you know what? Like I'm done with letting running kick my butt. Like we'd have to like run around at practice and I was like, I'm going to start training to run so I can be more fit. And I like started walk running around my neighborhood. It's like a mile. And then I eventually like got to the point where I could jog around the whole thing without taking a walking break. And like honestly, it was like in that time where I just went out like before dinner after school and I like fell in love with it just doing it on my own. I think it was kind of like the part of not having like any expectation there and it just being like me time and when you get like that runner's high for the first time, you know, like when you're like a kid you're like wow, like it's cool. It's cool to do something for yourself that feels good for your mind and your body. And it's cool because running is one of those sports where like you really if you put in the work you can really see the progress and I love that. I'm very much like a type A personality kind of person. So I kind of fell in love with it right away. And that's once I joined the cross country team at Bishop Moore, like, and had that whole team aspect too, I like fell in love with it all over again. Like, that was like another piece of it that was just like so integral to me, like continuing to run through high school and then again in college. The community, the running community is so cool. And I think that kept me going because I competed without a break for like 10 years. Well, like 8, but then, you know, there were like whatever breaks, but it it just I don't know if I could have done it without the community and without just really genuinely loving it on top of everything else.
You distance runners are built different because I understand like because you can't there's always something like one thing after the other. I do want to get back to those hooping years just a little bit, but um That is interesting. I don't think cross country gets the respect that it deserves, like
Fair.
globally. I was the team manager for cross country, and there's such, I don't know. It's so weird. You build this camaraderie, like when you're racing, you're with like hundreds of people at the starting line.
Right.
But still, it's like it's a sport where you're competing, against each other, but at the same time you work together, because it's like, okay, if you do well, we can lead everybody else to doing well. How
Mhm.
did you find how did you keep that love? You mentioned the team atmosphere, and that's definitely something. Your Bishop Moore squad was legit. But how did you maintain that love, especially when you don't get a break? Because sometimes it's easy to be like burnt out from something, but you
Yeah.
kept with it and you improved each and every year.
Yeah. Like kind of piggybacking on what you said, like in terms of cross country, like the part of it that I loved the most was that whole like you're doing it and obviously like you're gonna get a certain place and you're gonna run a certain time. And everybody ideally like you're running against yourself at the end of the day. Like there's
Mhm.
no one that you can really compare yourself to on an equal playing field besides your last performance. But I think that part where we were like the five of us had to work together to get a certain score, like I loved that. And I always, even in college, like, and I do think you're kind of in a minority in track, gets a lot of the hype, but I always was a cross girl just because it was a little bit more team oriented.
Yeah.
And then all the way through high school, like my team, we were just close. Like we were like sisters. So even when we were like on the track, it was always like for the team. And I think I don't really feel like I was burnt out at all after like racing in high school. I still really loved it. And I think it was just because I had that community of people that I cared for so much and we had fun together and we made it really fun. And high school is a little bit different too. There's definitely like an element of you needing to like do your best and be your best, but there's not as much pressure when there's not like scholarships on the line and
Yeah.
you're not, like getting paid to be there. So it was a little more light and fun. Um, I still had a blast in college. Like with that being said, college was the same way. Like my team and I were really close, especially my last 2 years. Like all my teammates were like my little sisters and we like lived together. And every year, I think, to be honest, like to answer your question about the burnout, it was like sometimes by the end of track, I would kind of feel that way, especially because I trained 10K in college and it was a lot of work with sometimes just me by myself and with like one other teammate. But like I would get back to cross in the fall and it would kind of like reboot me again. Like it kind of like got my love for running back. So that I could like push through the rest of the year. It's the team thing. I could have never done all of what I did and have done it alone and without like the context of it being for something bigger.
Cross, I don't know. I've never, like, when I'm at the start line, I play football and I did weightlifting, and the start, like you're at the starting line and just M&M's Lose Yourself is like going through my mind, and I'm just sitting here taking time.
All of them.
But like I'm ready to go. Like there's just such this, I don't know, it makes running fun. Track, like especially you're talking about running a 10K. There's something daunting. Like I always joke, and I'm not even halfway joking. Because if they were like, you know, Dom, you got to go run today. And it's just like, this is punishment. What did I do wrong? Like, for whatever reason. But I don't know. There's something daunting about running 28 times around a track compared to like running through a golf course,
Yeah.
like so to speak. Like, I don't know what it is, just the mental aspect. Like, I
Mhm.
could run through a golf course all the time or whatever the case might be. But you tell me, Dom, you got to run 28 times during the track. Listen, I am retiring. I'm giving you my jersey, giving and like, no, I'm giving you my 10-minute notice. Like, I'm not doing that.
Sure.
So I don't know. There's just I wish cross country got more hype than it does
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
both
And
the collegiate level and the professional level.
that's a good point too. Like in addition to the more team aspect, I think I've always loved like the outdoors part of running and I love to trail run now that I've done like competing too. And I just think cross country in terms of like scenery and like whatever, it also is just a little more entertaining, I guess, than
Oh, for
running around
sure.
the track. It's like when you run track and you're running a 10K, like you got to figure out what you're going to do for the first like 30 minutes. It's like you have to find a balance between like being in it and not like losing contact with people and hitting your paces, but you also have to kind of zone out because you can't like really be hardcore and pushing for 35 minutes at your like all out. Like you got to chill too. So it's like a fine it's like a fine balance. It's a little trickier. I always thought cross country was really fun because it was always somewhere different and it was always somewhere outside. So it was always really beautiful.
Only thing about running outside is like I'm running and I'm just sneezing the entire time. Like my
Or
allergies.
allergies.
Yes, I don't know. You guys are built different clearly than me because it's just like, oh God, this is just really bad. But still, I mean, when I did run, I like enjoyed the kind of the outside moments of it. But you achieved great success, obviously on a high school and a collegiate level. I think, and you sort of alluded to this, and one thing that I'm curious of is how did you not let it get too much? Like you are like the goat, essentially, the Wyoming goat. And then down here too. But you talked about it, you're that team leader, everybody's looking up to you, I listened to it in the interviews. It's like, we're falling behind your lead, but you never let the pressure phase you. Like it just seemed to continue to enhance your performance and you achieved great things. How were you able to keep a level head and be able to go out and accomplish all of these amazing things that you were able to do?
Yeah. Um, that's a great question. First of all, I will say, and I saw this a lot in college, my parents were phenomenal and they never put any added stress on me. It was all
Yeah.
about like, we want you to do what you want to do, have fun. You get enough stress as a college runner, like from your coaches, and there's internal stress sometimes that's like not spoken, like between teammates. And it's like you don't need that extra added layer of your parents like berating you and like breathing down
Yeah.
your back and on top of you. So that was awesome, like awesome support system, obviously, like all through high school when I was living at home. And then when I traveled too, I mean, my parents came to cheer for me, and it was always just like, do your best. And I think I grew up with that mentality. So I never felt pressure in the beginning to like worry so much about exactly how I did. It was just, I'm just going to go out and have fun and I'm going to see what I can do. And that's just something that my parents like taught me as I was growing up and I first started running. And then, yeah, that that was super instrumental. And again, I'm going to keep coming back to this point, and I'm sorry if it sounds like a broken record, but like
No.
my my teammates, I think, especially as I got older, like I would frame my goals as like I want to do this for my team. Like
Mm.
my senior year, I was like under a lot of pressure to perform, and I remember I really exceeded my expectations that year. And it's kind of funny because the only thing that I changed, my training changed a little bit, but I was like, this is it for me. Like, this is my last year. Like, I'm just going to have fun and just see what I can do. So I almost like, I'm naturally a very anxious person. And I had to like drop down out of that a little bit and just like shake some of the nerves off and just run for like the joy of it, like I always had. And then it was always kind of like, you're doing this for your team, like you're doing it for the four girls that are behind you, like you're the one that's going to lead them like to that goal. Like we wanted to go to nationals and we were pretty close, but my senior year we placed third in our conference after Boise and New Mexico. And I just remember the whole season I was like, I just want to be top 3 in the conference. I just want us to make it to that. Like I want that for my
Yeah.
team. And I think when you frame it for something bigger than yourself, it takes some of the pressure off, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
No, it makes total sense. Just everything. Like I'm grateful. Like my mom was just her thing was do your very best and you can't quit. Like if you start something, you can't quit. But it wasn't like the constant, pressure, of I didn't feel anything added, which granted I wasn't great, but it's like, I don't know. It's something freeing, like you said, about that. And yeah, the team goals. I remember like my senior year, we won the district championship for the first time. And it was just like a team effort. And I don't know, it hits differently when it's more about everyone else than
Yeah.
maybe just yourself.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
And it just takes that stress, that like personal stress, I think, out of it when you frame it to something a little bit bigger. Like
Yeah,
life. I mean, I guess in general, like if you have,
that's true.
a goal and you frame it to be about something other than yourself, sometimes it's easier to get it done. And then there's like more purpose behind it.
Okay. I want to take a brief break from all this track crap, running stuff. So I want to know about the hooper that you were back in the day. So you played center, and so you had to sprint up and down the court. So what were you like as a baller back then?
Oh gosh. To be honest, I loved basketball, but like I like laughingly, I was not aggressive enough to ever be like a serious basketball player. I got
Really?
shoved around. Yes, like I remember one year, this is an embarrassing story, but I went to the pediatrician and they found all these bruises on my legs and they asked my mom to like leave and they were like, are you good? Like, is there anything going on at home? And I was like, no, I just play basketball and I get pushed to the ground a lot. Like these are all just from like basketball, like, and I never pushed back. Like I just was like, as a baller, if I'm being honest, I could like get a rebound, I could do a free throw. I was not like a point guard. I wasn't good at dribbling by any means, but I was like a solid, like played in the back kind of player. And I was a really big hype girl, really big team cheerleader. Like that was kind of my vibe. So that's the kind of baller I was. I think running ultimately ended up being the perfect sport for me because there's not a lot of contact in running like there is in other sports. I think I would have gotten eaten alive if I had continued down that road.
That's so real. Like I played basketball too, and it's just like I get the rebound, and then I think they want that football, mentality. But listen, your role, if you're a hype man on a team, that is just as big as like making a free throw or getting a rebound because you don't want a dead bench.
Yeah.
You need somebody to cheering. And that story, listen, Holly, I what sport was it? Oh, it was when I went on our senior ski trip and I like sprained my ankle. I ran into the ski instructor
Oh no.
and ankle went the other way and got taken down on the toboggan. And so like I can't tell anybody like, I was just a klutz, but I feel that like it's okay. I call those battle wounds. I don't even think that's
Yeah.
embarrassing. Those are battle scars. Those came within the heat of the battle. So I mean, I don't know. I can definitely see that basketball is definitely different than running.
It is very different.
I love basketball too, but when I played, I was like, yeah, I'm not cut out for this. Like,
Yeah, it
I don't
wasn't, I loved it because it was with a bunch of my girlfriends and it was something that I did from a young age. So I don't know. It just felt natural to continue doing that into like middle school. And I thought about playing in high school, but yeah, it wasn't quite like the niche for me compared to running. It wasn't quite the perfect fit. So
okay, so we found that. Um, I'm curious because I had a high school runner on here, and I asked her, I said, about your favorite meal or whatever, the same question I asked you. And it brought back some like nostalgia because in the events that you ran, it got out late. So she was saying that her go-to post-race meal was Burger King. She got a Whopper,
okay.
which I've never heard anyone willingly say I went to Burger King after the race and got a Whopper, which is just totally fine with me. But what was that for you?
Oh gosh. I knew this was coming. I was trying to think. I feel like when especially in high school, not in college, the whole team went wherever they took us.
Yeah.
We all ordered like a massive amount of food. But in high school, I think I came home and ate cereal. Like that sounds weird. It
Really?
was like the carb loading. Yeah. I loved like Special K blueberries, like frosted mini wheats. Like I was a big cereal girl. And like after a long run, I was like, I want cereal. Like that's the first thing. Like I just wanted carbs. That was my post race. I'd eat cereal.
No wonder you're so good because you ate the healthy kind of cereal. Like
Yeah. I
if
mean like
I
the healthier, but I don't know. I don't know if cereal is like the best thing to eat, but it did the trick. It did good.
frosted mini wheats, I don't think that's pushing the doctor's
That's true.
alarm
That's
bells.
true. Yeah. Yeah.
With some milk, I'm not mad at it. I just wish, I mean, that probably gave you more energy. We would go and get Arnold Palmer's from 7-Eleven.
Oh, solid. Yeah, that's a good one.
I did not realize it was laden with sugar, so I was like falling asleep doing math homework. But still, like I was just curious. I didn't expect that one. Cereal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was a big cereal girl for a long time. I've like transitioned to oatmeal in the morning, and that's been like my
Oh,
adult version. But yeah,
so it's still
cereal was
cereal.
like cereal was life for a long time, all through
Listen,
college too. Yeah.
really? Okay. Well,
Mhm.
I feel the college one because cereal is cheap. So
Yeah.
I can't get mad at that. Oatmeal, I eat oatmeal just about every day, and I have for the past 27 years. So I feel that is like the adult version.
It
I don't
is.
know, some plain oatmeal mixed in with some cranberries and some walnuts or some shaved almonds, a little cinnamon and spice.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
It gets you right. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I'm not the health nut, but that
that's
does
intricate. Like I appreciate that.
and that does get you right with a little. Here's the trick: Kerrygold butter.
Okay.
Kerrygold butter. It is very expensive butter. It's an Irish butter. It's $4.79 at Publix. But if anybody knows where I can get that cheaper, please let me know. But I'm telling you, Holly, difference maker. It is
Okay.
a difference maker. And I
Okay.
just feel like I just failed in high school because I was like eating Wendy's and Chipotle after, because we would have to stay. Our coach was military, so we stayed for the entire meet. And
Right.
you're
Yeah.
just, eating things that are just nutritious for you, like cereal. And I'm getting double stacks and frosties and all.
I mean, to be fair, like we did, especially in college, we did our fair share of like Steak and Shake, Post, yeah, In-N-Out Burger when I went to California. Yeah,
Ooh,
we did that.
how is In-N-Out Burger? Is it better than compared to everything else?
Oh, I kind of felt that it was overhyped, but again, like that's what people who aren't from the South say about Chick-fil-A. Like if you don't grow up with it, like do you appreciate it as much? I don't know. Like it was a good burger. Like I'm not gonna say it wasn't good, but you hear about it like it's just, I don't know, like the best thing that's ever gonna touch your lips. And I didn't feel that way, but it was still a delicious burger.
I'm curious because it's just like everybody swears by it and just
I know,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, but you cannot compare like the greatness of Chick-fil-A to In-N-Out Burger because there's
Yeah,
just
that's
so
fair.
many. Nobody's gonna tell you my pleasure like after they get you your honey mustard sauce,
Yeah,
um,
agreed.
or yes, or take the lid off for you to refill like whatever beverage of your choice is. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I've I do where were they? I don't know if they were in LA or New York, but they got Chick-fil-A for the first time and they were like, I just don't understand how we live without this so long and stuff
Okay,
like that.
thank goodness. Because when I lived in Wyoming, some people who like didn't grow up with it were like, I don't get the hype. Like I tried it one time and I didn't even like it. And I was just like, all right, what? Like, how is
Ooh,
that possible?
that is those are fighting words, man. Like
Yeah, yeah,
they
I know.
need to add them to the top of the prayer list because that's not
That's
that's not good. You can't say that.
really tough. I know you
Like
can't do that about Chick-fil-A.
like literally, the only thing that Chick-fil-A is not good at, their chicken tenders are not that good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the nuggets are superior. I think like the ratio of like the surface area of the breadedness to the nugget is like better than in a chicken strip or something. I don't know.
Oh, we took a sharp math turn. I'm
Yeah,
just trying to
sorry,
like
sorry. That's the mathematician in me coming out.
that's that math. See, you're good at math. I didn't major in math. I majored in journalism. So I got you. I got you.
Okay.
I'm just trying to like add two and two to get four to see where you are with that. What is your go-to order? Because I'm actually kind of hungry now.
For Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Okay, so like my favorite thing ever, and I am a little bit of a health nut, but they had a spicy grilled sandwich at one point, and it was like,
That was good. Oh boy.
oh my gosh. So that was like my all-time favorite because the plain grilled is just kind of lame. I mean, the sauces make Chick-fil-A anyway, so it's like you can still do it and it's fine. But like number one of all time, spicy grilled chicken with whatever sauce it comes with. I can't remember. It's not Chick-fil-A sauce. Honey roasted barbecue. Honey
Honey
roasted
roasted
barbecue.
barbecue.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, like that combo with like the spicy sauce they put on it and honey roasted barbecue, 10 out of 10. Um, love the lemonade. I'm like a fruit cup girl. I don't go for French fries anymore, which is super lame because they have really good French fries. But and then when I was younger, oh my gosh, big time. Like when I was in high school, I used to get their milkshakes, cookies and cream, 100%.
I'm like crying internally because that just sounds that spicy. When they were having the whole chicken sandwich debate, I was like, Chick-fil-A has a spicy sandwich, and they gave me the spicy grilled on accident
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
ordered the regular. So I was like, okay, I'll just try this. Holly, just my soul
I
was just,
know.
I was like, this has no business slapping the way it does, but it tasted so
It's so good.
good.
I know. And they didn't keep the spicy one. And which makes sense because not everybody likes spicy, but like they kept the regular one and then didn't like dress it up at all, like the spicy one, and then took it away. It was just, it was a hard time. It was a hard
It was,
time.
you feeling pain. I see that
Yeah.
through the
It's
screen.
rough out here.
It's just rough out here. That was devastating.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A sponsored this show, and let's get Holly a sponsorship too, because she's about to take on Boston, which we're about to get to.
Oh, goodness.
But no, that sandwich was good. Those milkshakes. The first Chick-fil-A milkshake, I love that cookies and cream milkshake. I
Yes.
love it.
Cookies and cream.
They had a mint milkshake. It was like a
I was gonna
peppermint
say,
milkshake.
did they only, was that like a holiday one though? Like they did it for like
Yeah,
Christmas or something? Yeah, that one was good
it's
too.
like it's 3 months.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, like seasonal milkshake.
yeah, I haven't drank a milkshake in a couple years.
Yeah.
Um, but now I'm inclined to potentially think about maybe purchasing one because they do have a peach milkshake that I still haven't
I
tried.
have not had that yet. But I mean, to be fair, I did hop on the lactose intolerant train like probably like 5 or 6 years ago. But
I'm so
you can
sorry.
take, I know, but you can take those little pills and they work. So like that's always an option. And I always like to leave my options open for a good like dairy product.
Listen, if it's worth it, you have to take those pills.
Yeah,
And so that peach might be worth it.
it might.
I'm so sorry that you're lactose
It's
intolerant.
okay.
That hurts me because
It's
there's
okay.
so many wonders that you may
I
miss
know,
out.
but there's a lot of really great alternatives. So it's getting better. It's
Is
getting
it
better.
like the cashew milk or little things like that? Like
I
those
do a
really
lot of like almond milk.
okay, that
Um,
slaps.
but yeah, they do have like they probably have ice cream that they make with like cashew nut milk. It's like creamier. They have all sorts of things now. I have
Okay.
ice cream sandwiches that are dairy free every night. They are the bomb.
They have that?
Yes, they're so good. You gotta
Ooh.
like you gotta go in Publix and like look in their little like dairy free section and they have all sorts of like little treats. You can't tell the difference. Well, I can't tell the difference.
As long as you can't tell the difference, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out on Wednesday. I'm gonna check that out on Wednesday. The dairy free, because that's a little nice little everything in moderation.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with
100%.
that.
100%.
So do you have to do like lactate and all that crap? That
If
nasty
I
stuff.
do eat dairy, yes. Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
gonna add you to the top of the prayer list. Ooh, let's turn
I
this
appreciate
into
that. Yeah,
let's
it's a familial thing. My sisters and I, it's funny, for Christmas we each got a bottle of Lactaid. We're all lactose intolerant.
that's
So
cold blooded.
it
That is
is. It's cold. And like when we go out to dinner, like we always forget. So one of us will have it and we're like dispensing it across the table to everyone. It's kind of cute, but it's
that
kind of,
is
yeah,
that's sisterhood right there.
it
That's
is.
best
That's the
friend.
real sisterhood right
That's
there.
real sisterhood. So
Yeah.
anybody that that's my sister, listen, no, a real sister brings those pills just in case.
Real sisters got the Lactaid. Yeah.
Got the lactate
On
on,
tap.
listen, on tap, on notice, anytime. So I
Yeah.
feel that. Shout out to the Page family. I love them.
Yeah, shout out to the Page girls.
All right. I want to transition and I'll ask this in the rapid fire. So
Okay.
you qualified for Boston. That is amazing. Think
Thank you.
what was the time like 320 something? I
This is
don't
kind of
know.
embarrassing, but I don't really know what the time was. I just know it was under 3:30. It was
It
like
was
3:28, 3:27. I don't know. It was somewhere in there. It was a couple minutes
I
pre
was
3:30.
it's like 321 or 322.
No, no.
Okay, well maybe the timer was wrong. So we're just gonna say it was 322.
Oh, okay.
Just in
For
case.
purposes
So
of the show. Sure.
yes, we're gonna
We're gonna
reverse
round down.
round. Yes, we're gonna round
Okay.
down, reverse rounding is what I call it. Oh, I need to go. My math teachers, I hope none of y'all are listening to this. Um, which is just incredible, just for all purposes. I just cannot wait to write this story one day. I cannot wait. Bishop Moore alum, Bishop Moore alumnus stings the competition at the
Oh
Boston
my
Marathon.
gosh, that's a good headline.
Oh God, that is such a dad joke. I have to write that down. But is it feel like surreal that you qualified for one of the most prestigious marathons in the world?
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, like thinking about um like just transitioning into marathon training, like it's almost like laughable. Like I signed up for the Space Coast Marathon to train with one of my coworkers. Like I wasn't even going to do it on my own. Like she was telling me that she was training for a marathon and I was like, cool, like if you sign up, like we've been doing long runs together, like I'll do it with you. Like we can just train, it'll be fun. So like I kind of was like going in with just the idea that I would train to finish. Like I didn't really have a time goal in mind. And come like whatever, a couple weeks later, she actually ended up getting injured. So then I did end up training on my own because I don't like sign up for something and then not do it. That's just like not me.
Yeah.
Um, and as I started doing the long runs, I loved them. Like I would do like a 15-mile run, came back, like obsessed, couldn't wait for my 18-mile run, couldn't wait for my 20-mile run. Like I know I probably sound like a freak, but like that is
No.
like my bread and butter. Like that is like what my body is made for. Like I feel good once I'm like an hour or so in, like 10 miles in, like that's when I'm ready to like gear up and go. And I started like looking at my splits and I was hitting under 8 minute pace on the second half of my long runs. And I was like, like I'm going to check out, I'm going to see what the qualifying time is for Boston. And it was 8 minute pace. And I think most of my training runs were like 8:05, 8:04. And I was like, okay, cool. Like on race day, like if I feel good, like I'm just going to kind of go for it. And I'll try to hit splits a little bit faster than what I've been training. And hopefully I can hold it out because my longest training run was 20 miles. I didn't do anything above
Mm.
20. I didn't have time. I like, this was like totally like a last minute, like I was like, I'm gonna do a marathon. And I feel like I did like honestly, like bare minimum prep. I'm lucky because naturally my endurance is pretty decent. So building the mileage wasn't hard. It was just like taking the time to get it done. But yeah, I mean, like to literally, like I came up to, I think it was like 2 miles to go, and I was looking at my watch, and I couldn't really remember like how far I started behind like the chip or whatever. So I didn't know
Mhm.
exactly like what my time was and if my watch was accurate because it was beeping at different times in the mile markers, and that had me stressed. But at one point, I was like, if I just keep running, like I'm gonna qualify for Boston. Like I have like 20 minutes and I only have like 2.5 miles to go or whatever. So that like got me through it. That like pumped me up. And there's nothing like, and I've only done one, but I watched the Boston Marathon last week and it was amazing. But there's nothing like people cheering for you at the end of a marathon. It's
Oh my
pretty,
gosh.
it's pretty cool. And it definitely like lifted my spirits and helped get me through that last like mile and a half or two. So,
Did,
um,
did you oh sorry. Go
no,
ahead,
no,
I'm
no,
so
I'm
sorry.
done. I just, yeah.
Did you see, I don't know if you have Instagram, did you see Desi Linden's post?
No.
Um, so she was, I guess there are these supporters. So she's running and everybody's cheering her on and laughing, and they threw confetti. And so the comment was like party at the Boston Marathon and
Okay.
stuff. Like, so I remember just last week I had to um cover it from afar, and I'm watching and I was just like, yo, like this is different. Like everybody's cheering.
It was
Like
so cool.
I'm just sitting in my room like, come on, Emma, let's go. Like, I'm just like so hyped and everything. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like, now that you told me the story, that is just bonkers to me. You just like, you know what? Screw it. Let me just go ahead and just run this real quick. And your first ever marathon.
Yeah. Well,
You
I mean, like, and I will say with distance running, it's like some days the stars align and you feel great. And then some days they don't and you just don't feel good and it's not there. And I did go into it with like the mentality that like I'm just gonna go out and train or start the race like I've trained. And if I'm feeling good, then I'll give myself the opportunity to make Boston like a possibility. Like realistically, I knew like sometimes it just ain't your day.
yeah.
But luckily, I mean, like that part is nothing. It's out of my hands. But yeah, like I had a good day and I felt really good and I tapered just right. And I don't know how because I'd never tapered for a marathon before, but I had fresh legs and that helped a lot.
I would say, or at least my mom said, some days chicken, some days feathers. And like that day
Mm-hmm.
you had a chicken. That is some
Yeah.
serious, that is some Hoka Bondi 8 energy if I've ever seen it. Like
Bondi ate.
that is, or no, actually, no, that's some Clifton energy. That's a
Oh, okay.
Clifton
Yes.
kind of
Yes, it
energy.
is. It's Clifton 8
Uh
energy. I did race in my Clifton 8s.
oh, so that's definitely some Clifton 8 energy. That is amazing. That is awesome. So just the training for it, I just can't imagine because that is a lot. Maybe it's just because I don't just can't conceive running 20 miles, let alone driving 20 miles. Like for the love of the game. But
Sure. Yeah.
did that kind of change your perspective as you head into Boston about what you can do, not just next year, but going forward? Because like
Yeah.
if you're popping 322 first time around, I'm just trying to tell you, like you don't know. Holly could
Yeah.
be up there with the lead pack and everything. So
Well, I just like I think especially I mean my first marathon my whole thing was like I was laughing with my friend we signed up I was like we're just gonna do it to finish it's gonna be like a fun long run like I just wanted to know that I could actually like physically do it because I'd never
yeah.
had run longer than 16 miles before so like
Mm.
again just like doing it in itself that was like a huge hurdle. I actually just signed up for another marathon and I'm just doing it for fun but primarily because it's not close enough to Boston that's going to benefit me like fitness wise but I want to practice with nutrition a little bit more because I felt
Okay.
like that was where I had like a little bit of a weak spot at the end. I like physically couldn't even take it because I was too tired. And I just want to plan that out a little bit better. And that's another thing about training for a marathon that you don't even think about, but that's like a really crucial element is like, when are you going to take your nutrition? Like, are you going to like have water with you? Are you going to carry it? Are you going to rely on the water stops? Like, that's a whole nother thing. But like having done it, yeah, I definitely, it makes me more confident moving forward. I don't know. I'm trying to work on some speed work for my next marathon just to see like what I can do. But I'm just happy to be here. I'm just pumped that I made it to
Uh,
Boston. So it's all just extra from here.
that is amazing. Like, where does this, and then we're going to transition to running shoes, rapid fire, and then we're going to be out of here. But where does this bravery and confidence stem from? Because that is brave, that is tough. That's like $2 state toughness. So where does that kind of stem? Because obviously it manifests itself when you run, and it feels like it kind of always has, just based on our conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is just inherently because I love, and I know I've said this several times already. I love to run. I tell people all the time at the store when I'm fitting them for shoes, like I probably run more for my mental health than I do for my physical health. Like it's just something that inherently makes me feel happy and it's meditative for me. It makes me feel really present. Um, and I've always felt that way. And as I've continued to run and through high school and college, I think there was a lot of confidence there. Like when I put in the work and then I accomplished a goal and I checked it off the list and then I set a new standard. Like, you keep going through the motions like that. And since I've run collegiately, everything else, I'm like, nothing can be scarier than what I've done. Like I'm not necessarily like going out to like do anything crazy at Boston, but I know what I can do because I've already done a lot of really hard things. I just think confidence comes from repetitively challenging yourself and accomplishing it. Even if
God,
you don't accomplish it, you're still like
yeah,
getting stronger. It's just a different lesson.
I think I'm gonna have to go back running. I don't know. Interesting. Shoes. So there's a place called Fleet Feet that Holly and I work at. Holly is literally goated when it comes to slinging shoes and making sure that people get the right pair of shoes on their feet for whatever issue that they have. Um, tell me, as one of the legendary fitters, why is I mean, now this statement's justified because the other day somebody asked, was there a line specifically for you? So when you've reached that status, that means you are goated. So tell me about the importance of a pair of running shoes, a good pair of running shoes.
Yeah, this is a really great question because I feel like it's one of those things where until you get in a good pair of running shoes, you like don't really know what you're missing. Like there's so much about running that can be uncomfortable. And I think sometimes people think that having like rubbing or blisters or horrible calluses or black toenails, like that's just part of the game. And like to a certain extent, like if we're talking like running a marathon or an ultra marathon, sometimes it is. But there's just like when you put a running shoe on for the first time, it makes life so much easier if it fits, if it's the right height for your whatever, the volume of your foot and how tall your foot is. That's all so crucial. I remember when I was in high school, I kept buying Asics because that's what literally everybody wore. And I thought that it was really normal for you to buy a pair of shoes and then have to wear them for like a month before they felt comfortable. Like I thought you had to like break them in and then like come to find, and this is I didn't find this out until after college. I had shoes that fit well in college and I just kept buying that pair. But like the having a shoe that fits you well, it doesn't need to be broken in. Like nothing should
Mhm.
have to be changed. Like you can get into a shoe that feels like ideally like it's an extension of yourself and you don't really even notice it at all. And I think a lot of people just naturally maybe are deterred from running because part of it being your feet are uncomfortable. That's unpleasant. It's unpleasant to endure, period. And over several miles, it can be even worse. So um it's absolutely crucial. And we have people come in all the time that have little like tweaks and injuries and things. And sometimes just having a good supportive shoe is something that can totally change things around. So it's super important.
It's so crazy. Like, obviously, we're not doctors. And I always tell the story. I actually told it on my application, job application. Like, my mom was having back pains and hip pains, and she got fit for a pair of Brooks. I don't know what shoe it was. I don't know if it was the glycerin or whatever. And as soon as she walked out of the store, the pain went away.
Yeah.
Literally, that's just like the power of I don't know. It's something unique about to see the smile on people's faces, like when you get like a good pair of shoes. I think I told someone it's like a good crispy piece of fried chicken. It just has that impact because it's just so good for the soul. Um, you have survived the interrogation process. Now we're going on to the fun stuff. This is called down the home stretch. I'm
Okay.
going to ask you some rapid fire questions. I want you to answer them to the best of your ability. If you do not answer these questions as fast as you can to the best of your ability, please understand. I don't care because literally no one ever does. So no pressure.
Oh
Are
God. Okay.
are you ready?
I guess. Yes.
Okay. So let's take a deep breath. No need for anxiety. You're good.
Okay. No stress.
If there was a food that you could live with and a food that you could live without for the rest of your life, what would they be?
Okay. Peanut butter with, celery without.
That's so weird because they go together.
I know.
Interesting.
I don't like celery and I hate myself for it. I like to like everything and that I keep trying it and I keep thinking that I'm gonna like it and I
No.
hate it.
Celery. So for part of my snacks, I eat a lot of carrots. And I used to like I was in this phase a couple months ago. And also if I stop to elaborate on the answer, it doesn't count against the time. But
Okay.
I don't know. And I would eat the celery with the ranch and everything. And one day I did not eat I didn't dip it in ranch. And it was just this foul taste. I was like, is this what celery really
It's
tastes
the
like?
aftertaste. It's the
It
aftertaste.
is,
And it can be like hidden in something. Like it'll be in like chicken salad or like in my like Thai chicken dish. And I'm immediately like, I have to like spit it out. Like it's horrible. And it's healthy. I should like, I don't know. It bothers me that I don't like it, but it's just the one thing I can't get after.
it's hit or miss. It's like Brussels sprouts. Because I don't know. You have to put some good seasoning into Brussels sprouts
You
to
gotta,
get that.
Brussels have to be totally like dressed up.
Yes.
Fair.
Like I had a sweet Thai chili Brussels sprout the other day at Whole Foods and
Mm.
almost rededicated my life to the Lord after eating that. Last television show that you binge watch?
Oh gosh. Probably Squid Games. I mean, it's been a long time. Like that's horrible, but
Squid Games.
yeah.
Oh, that has been a few years.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I've watched stuff, but not like binged. Like
No.
I binged Squid Games.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Okay, I have not watched that yet because
Oh, it's
everybody was.
very intense. It's honestly not the kind of show I ever would have been like, oh, you're gonna love this because it's like really like cutthroat and
Okay.
yeah. But like it's intriguing. It's interesting.
Okay. What's the best meal that you have cooked or that you cook regularly?
Hmm, that's tough. I I like to do like a peanut butter curry type stir fry. That's probably like my favorite. So it's
Whoa.
like chicken and then like a curry that you like throw peanut butter in and you mix in a bunch of veggies. If you have a wok, you do it on a wok, or you just like stir fry it really fast in like a pan. That's one of my faves. What was the other one? You said something that I've made or I
I
can't.
said that you've ever made or you continually make. I'm trying to
Oh,
figure out.
okay.
So does it taste just straight peanut butter or does it just give it kind of like a unique texture?
It's like a combination of like coconut milk and peanut butter and then like usually like soy. So it's not like
Oh,
straight peanut butter. Like it's got lime in it, it's got garlic in it. Like
okay.
it's like a subtle peanut butter. I love curry period, so it doesn't even have to have peanut butter in it, but like peanut butter is my top fave food. Can't live without, so that
It's its
naturally.
own, yeah, it's its own food group. I'm
Yeah.
thinking you just put like a spoon of Jiffy in there, just like by
You just
itself.
like yeah, savage just threw peanut butter in there.
Oh, that's cold blooded. That's Hokabody energy right there. So
That is.
I don't know. I did not know that. All right. So are you familiar with the show The Office?
Yes.
Okay. So I've asked this question before. If you had to name a pet after any character, what name would you give that pet?
Probably Dwight Schrute.
Oh man. That's been I like that. Like you would name a dog Dwight. Like, come here, Dwight. Would you like name it like the full name, Dwight Schrute, or
I feel like I call him Schrute. Like I'm a
Schrute? Oh,
nicknamer. It might be Dwight. It might be like I don't know, D Dog. Like like
T
there'd be
Dog.
like a lot of like iterations. It wouldn't just be like a single name.
Oh man. So I'm a nicknamer too, but I have not D Dog. I like that. I've always said that there's two names that I would give a dog, but it would be their full name. So like the first
Okay.
one would be David Wallace. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
Like I would name a dog David Wallace. And then the other name would be Bob Vance of Vance Refrigeration. So
Yes.
like one of those two, but like with the nicknames, like that's got me thinking now.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's like I don't want to name a dog like Packer or something like that, or Cat Meredith,
Yeah.
essentially. But I like that. Shroot. Shroot's a great name.
I
Shroot's a
like
great
Shrew.
name.
I think like I think I prefer Shrew, but like yeah, with
Yeah,
the like connotation that it is Dwight Schrute.
Dwight. Okay, I like that. All right, dream vacation spot.
Oh man, gosh. I like, and this is something I thought about like a million times, so I don't know why. I guess I have so many. Um, what's the top of my bucket list? I'm gonna say Canadian Rockies. I love the
Oh,
mountains. I want to go to Canada and do like the mountains. I want to hike the mountains in Canada. That's like
oh,
top tier for me right now.
okay. That'll be fun. Weather's gorgeous. Canada's a beautiful area.
In the
Okay.
summer. Sorry, let me just clarify. Like not when it's cold.
Just kidding. All righty. That sounds cool too. I'm definitely with that. If you had to have dinner with anybody living, I don't like to say dead because that's just weird, but
Okay.
anybody living, who would you have dinner with?
Michelle Obama.
Michelle. That's a great answer. All right. I just have a
I
few.
love her.
She's awesome. Like, listen, Michelle
Agreed.
sponsored the show, sponsor us. Like, we're just trying to make people happy, just like you are. All right. I just have a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
If you were not the baller that you were on a running course and in the shoe community, what would you be doing?
Oh, that's like life's question. I'm honestly like I when I finished running in college, I was like, all right, time to like focus on my career. Like I want to do something where I can take care of and help people. And I've gone in all sorts of directions. I will always probably be in some sort of caretaking role. I have a teaching degree. Went to nursing school for a little bit, like,
Okay.
but I like currently right now am looking at being a physical therapy assistant because it kind of like merges nurturing with like sports fitness and
Yeah.
I'm really into all of that stuff.
I
So
can definitely
um
see that.
yeah, like so something definitely in that direction. But for right now, Fleet Feet is really cool. I think it's exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, I like that. I can definitely see that, especially with athletes, help you get their confidence up, give them some nutritional things because you have to take care of the mind, body, and the soul. I can definitely
Right.
see that. I can definitely see that. I could also see teaching and nursing. So like
Yeah.
especially like maybe I don't know, maybe like middle schoolers or like elementary schoolers or something like that. I don't know about middle school. Middle school's hard.
I taught
Um,
middle school. It was tough. My degree's elementary though, and I do think that's kind of where my heart lies. Like I think I went into middle school because I wanted to do math because I love math.
okay.
But I do love elementary age. So yeah, teaching has always kind of been something that's
Yeah.
like close to my heart too.
Hashtag Holly loves the kids. I like that. All right, a couple more questions, then we're gonna be done. What is the coolest thing that you've done over the past year that no one knows about?
Coolest thing that I've done. These are some deep questions. Hmm.
That's interesting because I actually lined them up a little bit from what I usually ask.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm sorry. This is when I'm put on the spot. Sometimes I just struggle.
you're good.
I've done so many cool things. Okay, I'm gonna be super lame. I'm gonna say that running my marathon was probably the coolest thing. Well, people know about that, so I don't know if but they don't know that it's the coolest thing.
Okay. I
And
mean,
even just that whole experience, it was just kind of surreal. It was really cool.
if you had to be a guest at any concert, what concert are you going to?
Um, gotta, I'm gonna be judged for this. I'm gonna go with Biebs. I'm gonna go with Justin Bieber. I've been a long time believer and it's really hard for me to deviate. To be honest, I love all music and it's like really hard for me to choose. So like that's like I would be happy to be like sitting in any audience of any concert. But
You're
yeah.
not going to get judged because I
Okay.
I say I just had this debate with another 800. Her name is Brooke Feldmeyer. She came on the show.
Okay. Okay.
She is a huge Bieber fan. Like it is crazy. But I was like, there's like pre-puberty Justin Bieber, which was like Baby with Ludacris, and then there's like
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
version, the adult Justin Bieber, who has the line that I love. which is My Mama Don't Like You and She Likes Everyone. That just
Yeah.
hits differently for me. So, okay, so I'm not mad at that. What's like the go-to Bieber song?
Oh, that's tough. So, like, I will say that I think part of the reason that that is so like sentimental to me, like as an artist, is I used to, this is weird, but like baby Justin Bieber music was stuff that I listened to pre-running. Like it was like it would calm me down.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. He had a My World 2.0 CD and it was like
Oh
the
yeah.
You Smile song, like the Baby Baby, like um
Baby,
Eeny
baby.
Meeny Miny Mo Lover. I mean, like you name it. Like I love all of that. I lost track of the question. What did you ask me? I'm so sorry.
You literally answered it. Like you
Oh, okay.
actually answered the question I was going to ask. Like, what was like the go-to playlist on your iPod prior to the race? Which is totally
Yeah.
fine because listen, I would listen to weird stuff. I like listen to like jazz music right before because I just
Yeah.
needed something to like calm me down.
Yeah,
Um,
his earlier stuff was a little more like soothing, I would say, I guess, compared to
yeah,
like I love his newer stuff and that has its own place in my heart too, but it was definitely like the early songs that I would play like pre-race. Yeah.
that was just a vibe, like just that because we were like near the same graduating class. So that was just that era. It was
Yeah.
like Bieber, and then it was like the weird era of like Rebecca Black with her song
Yes.
Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. I
Like looking
remember
forward to the
that.
weekend. Yep.
Yesterday was Thursday. Today it's Friday. All right. So tell me this last movie that made you cry.
Oh gosh. I'm such a crier. I don't know. That's
Really?
tough. Probably like the last movie I watched. Um, I'm like coming up. I could tell you the first movie that made me cry. I know
That's
that.
fair.
Can I
That's
give
fair.
that one instead?
You sure can.
So, I get told this story a lot because I don't remember it because I was so little. Do you recall Homeward Bound?
Oh, that movie sucks because just for the reason, yes, I remember that.
I used to play that movie and I would just sit in front of it and cry. And my mom would come in and like I would do it to myself. Like, but I love animals so much. So like when when Peter's like stuck in the or Peter's the boy, I can't remember, the golden retriever's stuck in the mud pit and he's trying to get out and he's like, Peter, Peter, like I can't. Like that whole movie wrecks me every time.
I hate that movie. So I'm gonna make it easier. My movie was actually a dog movie too. I went
Okay.
to the
See,
theater
to
and saw
be
this.
fair, like I feel like it's an animal movie. Like
It,
it was probably an animal movie. I don't
it
know. But
it
I'm
was for me personally. It was Marley and Me.
okay. No, I cried during that too. It's just that I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen that one, but yeah, for sure.
So after that, I haven't watched an animal movie since. I don't. I'm in the
Yeah.
theater and just like you're supposed to be tough, and I'm like, my allergies, like just look past me. That killed. That hurt me. I was like,
Yeah.
why
I
did dog?
I think I too like I know what my triggers are now, so maybe I kind of avoid them. I don't know. That's
Yeah,
creepy.
avoid the pain. I like that. That's maturity. Avoid the things that cause you pain. So that's cool. All right. When is it too early to listen to Christmas music? And I know I'm setting myself up for failure asking this.
Pre-Thanksgiving.
Dang.
I'm
Holly,
sorry.
I thought
I'm
we
a
were
little bit of
done.
a Grincher. I love Christmas. Like I do, but like there's also like the holidays can't be discounted. Like I'm a hardcore, like I love Halloween. When people are like hating on Halloween because they're ready for Christmas, I'm a little resentful. So I love the Christmas tunes, but like in their time, in their time.
If we work together in September, you're gonna hate me because
Oh
when
my
when
gosh, September.
when first day of fall, I go low key. We start very low, little Whitney Houston, little Boys to Men, and then we gradually work our way up. See, I was never allowed to celebrate Halloween because it was the devil's holiday in my household. So we bypassed that. And then when November hit, it's hard. We go, it is just we're decking every hall with boughs of holly, fa la la
Okay,
la la. So
fair. I'm fair.
that
I mean, Christmas is like the best holiday of the year. Like I
it
won't dispute
is.
it, and I do love when it's time. I'm like ready. Like I love going in the stores and hearing the music, but I don't know. I don't know if it's because I've worked in retail for so long and it's like you're literally like you're in the store for like 9.5 hours hearing it over and over that I do resent when it gets played too early. I don't know.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, he gave me something to look forward to. As
Yeah.
far as so. Okay. So the last two questions, they're the most important questions as
Oh,
my
goodness.
heart gently weeps over that Christmas answer. All right. Why does kindness matter to you?
Why does kindness matter?
Mhm.
Oh gosh, I think kindness is like the most important. It like links you to other people. It's integral to human connection. Like I don't know what my life would be without that. Like who are we outside of our community of people that we are? And I think that when you're like vulnerable with people and you get on their level and you're kind, that's how you kind of like bridge that gap between being, you know, like your own person and getting to know someone else.
Last question. What kindness has running brought you on this global
Oh,
running day?
so many kindness. Kindnesses. I don't know what the plural of kindness is.
How
Um,
how
but
kind? So how kind? I don't know.
very
Keep
kind.
going. Keep going.
No,
Very
you're
kind.
right. See, this is me being a math person and not an English person. But no, it's been awesome. I've just found in like my mental health journey, it's been such an important thing for my confidence. It's been an important thing for me meeting people, me connecting with people, me networking with people. I mean, it's been kind of everything. I can't think of a single part of my life that hasn't been impacted by my running. So, um, it's brought me quite a bit of kindness. Um, I think that was grammatically correct. But
It was you get an A. You get
okay,
an A plus. The teacher
that's
gets an A. That was such a
that's what teachers
wonderful
want.
English. That's
They
what teachers want. Yes. And so that means that I'm not called to teach that you. Holly, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. If you're listening to this, I know it's hot outside, but go on a run. Running is good for the mentals. Trust me, when I would run, I felt so much better. Felt like I could climb a mountain until I got home and that lactic acid kicked in. But other than that, running is instrumental. I'm grateful for each and every one of you who listen, and we will catch you next time.